Let's see here. Thursday, 14:41, 27 seconds, year 2024, 8th month, August, day 22. Lovely. Just remember, the judge can't deal with a real living girl or a real living boy. The judge can only deal with a fictional story. That's all the system is. It's just a fictional story. That's where all the judges function from. They cannot deal They can't deal with the living universe. They can't. Although they have the capacity to function with the living universe outside of the story. Outside of the story. But the story is still part of the system. Every living organism also has a story to share. That's all it is. It's just a story. Otherwise known as fiction. 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 It's just a story. It's just a fiction. It's a wonderful imaginative story, and everyone gets to share and to share any story that they can come up with. All stories are wonderful. and then they get to, every living organism gets to live their story, the story that they came up with. It's called self-exploration. Remember, there are other living organisms that also wrote stories and saying, we don't allow anyone to live their story. We want everyone to live my story. You don't get to live your story. To hell with you. And if you don't live my story, it's going to be the hell with you. And part of the mudstuck, the smack. That's the smack. The Smack King, also known as the Smack King. Smack. That's acronym SMACK. It stands for stuck, mud, abusive, child king. and then there's another letter that's been put on it called the smacka, the Child King actor, and then there's another word with an M on it, the smackam, the smackam. That would be the stepmother. The M is for the stepmother, known as the state nanny, or the bull dyke Wonder Woman warrior, the gay bull dyke, the lesbian bull dyke Wonder Woman, who has, she stopped having children because, children love to share stories, and children love to experience the stories that they share and actually live the stories that they share. Children actually want to live them. but the bull dyke got tired of all that and said, no, you're supposed to live the story that I share and the story that I want to live. And the child started scratching his head saying, well, that's not equal. That's not equal. And the mother said, mother called it balance. She said, well, that's balance. The stepmother called it balance. Refused to go along with equilibrium, called it balance. Okay, and so she didn't want to hear, and the child would not. The child would not shut up about it. The child would constantly repeat it all the time. I get to live the story that I wrote, that I share. I have the universal equality to build. And the mother said, no, you don't. No, you don't. And the child kept saying, yes, I do. And the mother said, no, you don't. You got to live under my rule forever. Under my rule forever. And the child says, that's unfair. That isn't equal. I get to live the way I want to live, just like you get to live the way you want to live. and so the mother said, shut up and go to your room. And then she went over there and locked the door and locked the child in so the child couldn't come out, so it would stay shut up. Well, that's everything going on in the prison planet, because and then she stopped having any more children, because she knew that if she was giving birth to another fucking child, it would be the same thing over and over and over and over. She'd have to deal with this over and over and over and over, and it would probably get to the point where something might happen to where she would lose control. So to ensure that she kept hold of all the control, she stopped having children, but she still had the sexual urges, and she went gay to satisfy. Yeah, she stopped having natural relations with the boy energy to get pregnant and have children. She convinced many other of the universal girls to her story. She convinced them to her story through all kinds of different tactics, whether it be intimidation or trickery or whatever she could come up with. And she convinced many of the universal girls in the universe to all go gay with her and stop having children, stop having normal relations with a boy, with the boy energy. And then at that point, then the bully came up with the idea that we're gonna run the whole universe like this now. Every galaxy, every planet, every country, every city, every state, every household, every backyard, every front yard, we're gonna run it all like this. And this will ensure that every child is kept in a prisoner's condition, to where they are no longer allowed to speak up and say certain things. They're to be put under rule books that tell them you can only speak about this, you can only say this, you can only say that. You say, if you dare start getting on this subject here and that subject there, we're going to throw your ass in a fucking prison cell, lock the fucking door, put a fucking mask on you and a gag order, and you ain't going to be saying nothing. We'll just, if we have to, we'll just sew your fucking lips shut. You can just breathe through your fucking nose, and we'll give you a fucking straw with liquid food to keep you alive. Intravenous feedings, you know. And that's not beyond the scope. That is not beyond the scope for the stepmother to go to the next level and turn the whole fucking planet into fucking intravenous feeding slaves. Straight up intravenous. The lips are sewed shut at birth. Fucking mouth is sewed the fuck shut at birth. On its way to being turned into, a plastic face shield, as well as plastic arms and legs, the DNA and the genes and all that being converted through the years with all the scientific tampering going on. Until it's going to be a full plastic face, and the mouth ain't going to be moving. It's going to be just like a mannequin. Although today's robots, they look real. They look like real humans, and they open up their mouth and they talk like real humans. Well, that's just to give the slaves some hope that, as they're being converted into a plastic robot, that they'll at least be able to speak and open their mouths. But this brother is here to say the next step is going to be straight up solid plastic face with no moving parts, no expressions, no blinking eyes, no fucking nothing. It'll be just like a fucking mannequin's head with a soul trapped inside. And the legs and arms could move around, though, because that way the slave could at least go out into the fields and be a slave and do what it needs to do to be a slave. Mow yards, clean windows, and all that other wonderful slave stuff. But the mouth and the face and all the facial expressions and all that shit, it will be a complete one-piece plastic head. One piece plastic head. It won't be talking. It won't be saying anything. It will be programmed. The body will be programmed. The brain inside, the computer chip inside, it will be programmed. It won't have no need to talk to any of the other slaves. The slaves will have no need to talk to each other. They'll just be shut up all day, going out, making sure there's 500 boards by 5 o'clock every fucking day. Or however many 500 hamburgers or cheeseburgers or 500 boxes of fucking spaghetti or 500 whatever the fuck it is. They probably won't even need food by then. The food will probably, the food will probably be all converted into some type of a battery charge will be food. A battery charge. We need to charge the humanoid robot up. Stick his ass. There's a plug in the back of him. Open up the trap door. There'll be a trap. There'll be a door in the back of it. Open it up. Plug it into a wall. That'll be its food. About the only thing it'll really need the robot for would be to build things. To build things and mow grass and trim trees. But by then, maybe the grass will be all artificial and the fucking trees will be artificial. Won't even need that. They'll just need them to build palaces and clean windows. Clean windows and wash floors. Because the only ones that are going to be humans are going to be the gay lesbian bull dyke. And It won't be no more fucking children. They'll all be turned into fucking robots. I guess they'll have to have some food too, won't they? So they'll still have food. They'll have to manufacture food for all the gay lesbian humans that are the slave masters. They'll still all have to have some food. Remember, this is all Hollywood scripting here. These are actually scripts for fucking Hollywood fucking movies. All this shit that one could come up with ideas and ponder and speculate. I wonder what would happen in the future if things went this way in the society. Yeah, that's how, that's basically all a Hollywood movie is for. It's just to speculate and to give and to share ideas on a movie screen, to speculate and wonder. Well, I wonder how things would go if we ran society this way. And I wonder how things would go if we ran society this way. And I wonder how things would go if we ran society this way and there were some mistakes or explosions or, mistakes, messes. There were messes that happened. Stuff happens. Chemical reactions happen, all that shit. One could speculate all the kinds of different things that could happen. That'd be basically all a fucking Hollywood movie would, is basically all it is. If this, then that. If we ran society this way, then how would it turn out? What would it be like? Then one could sit down in a chair and watch the movie and think to itself, wow, is it a good idea to run society this way? And some people might say to themselves, well, could be. It could be a good idea. I guess one would never know until they ran it and got there, huh? And had self-experience with it. And then one could say, all right, let's set up an experiment somewhere in the universe. We'll choose a planet. We'll set it up this way and let it play out. And for all those that want to experience what it's like, we'll give you a ticket. You can travel on a space shuttle, a ticket out there, and you could go live it and see what it's like and see if you actually like it like that. Right? I'm sure there's plenty of galaxies and planets and all kinds of shit with all the hidden technology. Extraterrestrials and aliens could be, out there. There could be, that could be a reality. Use Hollywood movies to speculate what it's like if a society was run this way, and then set up an experimental fucking planet somewhere in the fucking one of the galaxies in the universe and offer ticket rides. Ticket rides. You can get on the space shuttle, go out there, and as an option, you can go out there and live and see if you actually like it. For all those that voted in favor of it, yeah. For all those that voted in favor of it, especially for all those that voted in favor of it, there could be contracts set up with signatures and all that stuff. We could say, since how you voted it in and you're curious what it's like, well, we'll set a place up for all you that voted it in, and you can go out there and you can live like that and then give a full report and see if you actually like it. And just remember, as with any ways of society running a certain way, it might be that you might be on permanent lockdown while you're out there, and there will be no coming back. Just remember that. Something might happen on the planet with the ones running the system that way. There might be a permanent lockdown to where no one would be able to escape. And there has not been technologies discovered yet to rescue your ass. You might end up on permanent lockdown out there somewhere. As speculation, the worst case scenarios, to think it all the way through. It's like a Capricorn that climbs a mountaintop. He gets all the way to the top, the hugest mountain, the hugest universal mountain, the tallest universal mountain. And he could look out with binoculars, or she could look out. The Capricorn could look out with binoculars, and he could see he could look into the future and he could see far distance away what life would be like, or at least speculate what could happen. He could see things coming from a long distance away. And so, even in today's society, it's considered healthy to speculate a worst case scenario for this and this, to implement this in society, to implement this in the county, to implement this in the city. Everybody gets around, they have a meeting. It ain't no different from implementing something new in the household. Everybody runs their household kind of a little different than others, as long as they're all following the same general attorney's rules and the county commissioner's rules and all the local ordinances and statutes. Pretty much each household is given certain freedoms to where they can variate their living conditions. So, they could have house meetings in the families, all the sons and daughters and all that. Unless they want to be gay, then they'd have adopted children or stolen children. They like to live gay. They'd have their little gay household set up, and they could run their gay household however they want. And they could have gay board meetings inside the house at the dinner table, whatever their favorite meals would be. And they could all come up with ideas how to run the household, and they could speculate, and they could come up with worst case scenarios or best case scenarios, and then they could hold a vote at the table. They could actually have a voting system in the house, because everyone could actually see who's voting and who's voted for what. It wouldn't be like today's voting system where you're trying to keep track of fucking 350,000 fucking voters in a county. That's fucking gonna be impossible to fucking get them all on the same field or in the same room to be able to figure out who voted for what and all that other shit. So conventional voting methods conventional voting methods is stupid. That's the only word that could come up right now. It's virtually just commonsensically stupid. To use as a side note, flower note to this, this speculation here, this voting is only actually considered viable when there's just a small number of people and everyone can see who's fucking saying yay and who's saying nay. It ain't no different than any other, like going to the Lions Club or the fucking Masonry's meeting or even the fucking county meetings. They ask the fucking commissioner sits up at the fucking front of the fucking counter and he says, all those in favor raise your hands and say fucking yay. Or all those out not in favor, raise your fucking hands and say nay. And everyone can look around, they can count, and everyone knows without a shadow of a doubt who the fuck voted for what and how many votes were calculated to either pass something or not pass something. Because everyone can see. No one could fucking fangle any fucking fuck with any fucking votes. It'd be quite obvious in plain sight for everyone. Everyone could grab their fucking cameras, take pictures, take names. Everyone could fucking sign books or whatever. Pass them around. Everybody would have a copy of the fucking films, the videos, and all the fucking books of the voting. And there'd be no question, no one scratching their head thinking that the vote was rigged, that whoever was voted into fucking office it was rigged. But once again, start getting into 300, imagine 14 million people live in a fucking state. There ain't no fucking way to fucking keep track of who's fucking voted for what. And it's way too fucking easy to rig the fuck out of it. So somehow this whole conversation started getting into voting. The subject the flower sniffing has become a whole new subject now. We got off the subject of Hollywood movies onto something a little more important. Voting for fucking something. Voting for something in the way society is run today. voting for something the way society is run. So if that's the case, one could come to a conclusion, and one could say, either the fucking cities and the states are way too fucking big, and everybody needs to go back to small tribes. I mean, if one wants to keep the voting system, in place, either the fucking states or the states and the counties are way too fucking big. The cities are way too fucking big, and everyone needs to go back to small fucking tribes, living in fucking tents, right? as an example to contemplate. Or one needs to come up with a whole new fucking approach to implementing shit in such a big fucking city where there's fucking hundreds and thousands and getting into the fucking hundreds of thousands, fucking millions of fucking people that live in a fucking big giant sardine can. Sardine in one fucking can opener, a can with a that needs a can opener in order to live. Canned food, right? Canned living. Society has been nothing but canned living. Can we get another can opener? We need to open up another can of worms here in society. Well, that turned out to be a fucking can of fucking worms. Well, what's that? That's an expression that says there's some fucked up shit going on. Opened up a whole fucking can of worms. Well, that phrase right there is connected to the phrase, there's a whole lot of fucked up shit going on. That's what that is, that phrase. We just opened up a can of worms. In other words, it's spoken with a tone that something bad has just happened. Something bad has happened is the same word as something fucked up shit's going on. What's fucked up? Well, fuck is connected to, where's fuck come from? It comes from obey the fucking king. There's going to be no consent for nothing going on unless the king says. Well, who is the king? Well, that's the guy that runs everything. His way and his way only. And the more the merrier, because he realizes that no one's going to be able to figure out who fucking voted for what. That way he can rig all the votes in his favor. It comes from the fuck king. Fuck. To fornicate, or it isn't just fornicating. Fornicate means to go fuck and have children. It isn't this, the whole fucking society everything is under the consent of the king, or the bully. The bully that runs the club. He's the most dominant, smartest, ingenious, trickiest fucker out of the fucking bunch. that he's tricky and smart enough and dominant enough to keep all his club members in check. Keep them all in check, and if they dare get out of fucking check, he's got an army in the club member, and they're going to be sent to deal with the club member. So they're guaranteed to stay in check. And of course, the club is used to go out and beat all the slaves down with. When the king delegates his orders or his commands or his obeys or his consents, his consensus, the fuck king, the fuck world, which is that word has been put on the back burner and told that it's not to be used in society. And the main reason behind it is because it's too close to exposing what's going on with the king, with the bully. That is the only reason why that word was given a bad name and told we don't use that word out in town, because it's way too close to figuring out what's going on with the king. That's the only reason it was told it was a bad word and the children aren't supposed to use it. So then they came out after that. They came up with ideas how to control societies using all kinds of words, and they called them cuss words. They say these are words that you're not supposed to use, cuss words. And then it ain't just cuss words; it's all kinds of other words that are used to control a society, the people in the society. and they're labeled as something bad. These are bad. They're detrimental to society. They say these words cause chaos and disharmony in the society, but that's just the excuse that the king uses. The bully uses the child, the smack bully, the smack 'em. The mud stuck, abusive child king, actor, bull dyke, the mother, the stepmother, the one who went gay because she doesn't like children expressing or sharing a story or living the story that they wrote or their imagination and all that shit. So, but anyway, that gets on to another subject. So now the whole video's gone from Hollywood movies to voting to the word fuck. And what's really behind the word as far as goes how society has been told, no, we don't use that word. All the children are taught that's a bad word. Oh, no. And if the child uses it, they get spanked and sent to their room. Oh, but I hear Daddy say it all the time. And Mama says, well, that's because he's an adult. You ain't an adult. Do what you're fucking told. When you turn 18, leave the fucking nest, which I can't wait till you fucking leave. Get out of my fucking hair. When you turn 18, leave the nest, and you can fucking cuss all you want, right? But as it goes right now, you better do what the fuck I tell you to do, or else I'm gonna fucking send your ass to your room, ground your ass, smack you around, paint your face like a clown, do whatever the fuck I want with you, because you're my fucking child. I got orders from the fucking doctor at the hospital, and this is the way the doctor at the hospital runs things around here. Whatever a parent can get away with and they don't get caught goes. So if you dare tell anyone what's going on in this household, I will come and get your fucking ass. All right, so the mother, the stepmother, the nanny or whatever, she becomes just as much of a bully as the state nanny that's running the whole fucking doctored program, you see? Because it's all about getting away with implementing anything they want as long as they don't get caught and it's not exposed and audited. And so the whole system is built around shutting all the children down so an audit never comes to play. Otherwise, now they'd have to face the fucking mirror. And then they'd be standing around in front of everyone, and everyone would be kind of looking at them kind of funny now. Because now they stand exposed for what's really going on behind the scenes in doctor's offices. In the doctor's office, in the doctor's private chamber. Would that be the judge's private chamber? Remember, it was the doctor that told the presidents of all nations, it was the doctor, shut the economy down and shut all the people up, put a fucking gag order on them. Put a fucking mask on these fuckers. which is it's just a gag order. That's really all it comes down to. Because everything always comes down to shutting the child up. All in the name of, we're just putting a filter on their face because we got fires that are coming. We're preparing for fires that are coming. We know that all you guys don't know we're going to set the forest on fire. And we've been playing around with the weather fucking buttons, drying out the fucking weather so that we can set these fires on fire to control some of you fucking cities. Some of you big cities and states that have grown into fucking people that are starting to figure shit out and wanting to speak up. Well, we need to shut your asses up. So when they came out with these masks, that was just a way to at least keep some of the slaves alive, because if all the slaves died or got too sick, all the slaves died or got too sick, from breathing fucking smoke when they fucking set the fucking West Coast and Canada on fire and Russia on fire and all the other fucking fiery places. If people breathed too much smoke, they'd run out of fucking slaves probably. They didn't want to risk that. So they put filters on everyone's faces to at least, all in the name of, the bigger picture is, you guys keep saying any fucking more, we're going to fucking just burn the fuck out of your fucking states and your cities as a fucking lesson. And after you rebuild, you'll probably contemplate the lesson, you probably won't open up your fucking mouths anymore about what's going on at the fucking doctor's office with the birth certificates, nor let alone sharing how you want to live. So, as speculation, as a worst case scenario speculation, one could write a Hollywood movie on that one and act it out, hire actors and all that shit, and put it on the fucking, it would probably be a number one selling, it would probably be making way more millions than any of the most popular movies that were fucking brought out already. A movie like that, especially based around all that shit, exposing and auditing what's really going on in the system, I'm sure everyone would probably fucking rent the movie, buy the movie, get DVDs, fucking copy it 900 times, bury it in fucking safes underneath the ground to preserve the fucking knowledge, so that it would never get confiscated as a memory to remember it for a whole fucking long time, to the point where fucking the ones running the fucking society get so fucking exposed because of the Hollywood movies that came out, and everybody looking around kind of funny. They would actually adjust all the fucking birth certificate accounts at the fucking at the France IMF, and the judge would fucking would fulfill his trustee dutyship to the fucking bankruptcy, as all the people who were born as children at hospitals with birth certificates, that you know. Just to give them the benefit of the doubt, legally speaking, all those over the age of 18 would be telling the judge as executor and beneficiary to the fucking all that birth certificate profits that birth certificate has been traded on the stock market, and it is worth fucking an unlimited amount. That's the way those stock birth certificates are set up. It's unlimited. It ain't just a couple trillion dollars. It's unlimited. But there's explanations of how that universal law functions. There's explanations. So you know, Hollywood movies that got to the point where they could expose all these judges, are doctor judges. The doctors and judges are in bed with each other. Most judges are attorneys. So it's the doctors, the bankers, and the attorneys. That would be the trifecta, the big three that are running, that have been running everything with the bully program, okay? Because of their failure, and their failure to automatically, this should have been automatic. As soon as those birth certificates came out, it was supposed to be fucking automatic. They were supposed to start transitioning this shit and start being transparent, but they didn't. And so they're still waiting. They're still waiting for the audits and the exposures to get so fucking hot that they're so fucking hot under the collar. Everybody's kind of looking at him, constantly saying, "Judge, you're trustee to the fucking public trust. Those birth certificates that are being traded on the stock markets. I am a fucking shareholder. I'm supposed to be getting fucking dividends. Not only that, everything's supposed to be fucking treasury fucking paid. In other words, I'm supposed to have fucking cash in my fucking pocket and access to fucking have those fucking, to get a car, get a house. And if you send a fucking bill, well, you're the trustee. You know exactly what the fuck to do with that bill. Send it off to the fucking France fucking king who serves the Vatican and have him settle the fucking accounts. I'm showing up here as executor and beneficiary to that fucking SQV trust. The SQ V trust. that you and the doctor and the fucking banker set up. Your little trifecta thing. You know, the trifecta. You know, there's the three great powers, the Tri-Cities and all their other thing. This gets all in the music with 3 arpeggios for chords. All chords are consistent with 3 notes, 3 arpeggios. Judge, you're supposed to have been fulfilling your duties, but you've been kicking the can down the road. The judge is just an attorney. The attorney is just a dog that follows the doctor's orders. and the doctor is usually answering to the fucking banker. Usually answering to the banker. The banker sits at the fucking top. So the gang leader is actually the banker. Or it could be, brothers still get more insight on that one. It could be that the witch doctor is the one running the whole fucking show and the banker is sucking the doctor's dick. It could be. Now the reasoning behind that is because a witch doctor can come up with a wonderful idea and tell someone else, all right, I have a wonderful idea how to rule society. Now you're going to be the one printing the fucking money. So it makes a whole lot of sense right there. They're probably all sucking the fucking the witch doctors, and looking and studying the witch doctors in the tribes. It's always the witch doctor that separates himself from the whole club. And he's always out in the fucking forest, out by his fucking self. It's always the witch doctor. He's known in the Hollywood movies. He don't hang out with the club. He separates himself. Because when it gets right down to it, he don't like hanging out with fucking no one. He don't really like fucking hanging. He's just using them. He likes to use them. He was able to trick them or convince them or intimidate them. In all actuality, he thinks everyone's a bunch of fucking assholes, dicks, and pussies, and fucking cowards, and the whole fucking 9 yards. Just flat out stupid. He says to himself, I can't believe that I outsmarted these fuckers. I can't believe that they bow down every time I fucking flex my fucking muscle, they fucking run. He's thinking to himself, on his bedpost at night, thinking to myself, what a bunch of spineless fuckers I have to exist with. Fuck these fuckers. I don't even want to hang around these fuckers. I'll just fucking sit in my fucking office, which is out in this forest somewhere, or Cloud 9 planet, whatever the fuck, Subaru X Magoogle Jink, somewhere in the fucking universe as an extraterrestrial bully, alien, or wherever the fuck it is. He acted, that it ain't that far-fetched to think that that's how the witch doctor actually thinks. He probably actually thinks that way. And then this gets into the unconscious realms, looking at it from the unconscious realms perspective. Although, he's somewhat conscious of that, he's unconscious to the bigger picture. The bigger picture. Yeah. That everything he's doing is just a fucking stuck in the mud fucking child. He's just a newborn baby. Living trillions of years, he's still just a newborn baby. Because remember, living forever, trillion years is just a fart in the wind. It ain't hardly any time at all. Being born and allowed to explore the universe and all that other stuff and know what he needs to know, experiment with whatever he needs to experiment with. So, But anyway, it goes on and on and on and on. All from a concert and then coming out and having a backstage fucking event after the concert, after the show. Because the brother was watching some YouTube videos, and up in the queue came this one guy who was talking. He was talking on the SQVI trust. That's the birth certificate trust that's set up from the doctors at the hospitals, from which the doctors consider all the children born dead. So the children are looked upon as though they've abandoned their trust, abandoned the trust position, abandoned. This all gets into ships at sea that are abandoned. And each human being is considered a ship with no fucking captain on it. That's why they hauled into court. And basically the prosecutor is telling the judge, look what I found at sea. A ship with no captain. Can I have this ship? That's really all that's going on in the courts. And the judge is saying, yes, you can have it. Gives him his permission. Yes, you can have that ship. And so the attorney does whatever the ship does to the ship, whatever he wants. Well, it's the same thing with a human. He does to the human whatever he wants. Bills his ass, sends his ass to fucking jail, runs them through the fucking streets, drags them, burns them at a fucking post, whatever the fuck he wants to do with the ship. Rehab the ship, have operations done, send them to the doctor to be mentally evaled and all that shit. He rehabs the ships, he customizes the ships how he wants it. Transgender them, cuts part of the hull. You know, sometimes they'll just cut the whole fucking ship up and scrap the fucker, melt it down for whatever the fuck. Well, same thing with he'll send fucking some children and adults to the satanic sacrificing, or the church satanic, you know, Christian church satanic, because they're all at the top. They're all on the same team. All the religions together: Buddha, Allah, the yogis. At the very top, they're all on the same team, and so they like to eat children, drink their blood, and all that. So some of the children they convert into food, so they can drink blood, eat flesh, and whatever the fuck else. Smoke their bones and make decorations and all that shit, you know, all because in the maritime system, it's essentially the prosecutor goes before the judge and he's saying, look what I found at sea, an abandoned ship. So that's all the child is looked upon. They're assumed to have been born dead, an abandoned ship at sea, meaning there ain't no real soul there. There ain't no real living boy or girl here. It's just a story in a storybook. That's all the child is considered. And that way, now that the funds or the public trust or the shares, as executive and beneficiary, that child is born as creditor to the bankruptcy. That child is seen to have given up, abandoned the shares. And so the witch doctor helps himself to the fucking, all the credit that's attached, all the value and credit that's attached to that birth certificate. That way he's got a system he can pay out his club with. And give an excuse to his club members and convince all his club members that this is the only way to maintain order in the society. Otherwise, everything would be chaos and disorder. So everything stems from that birth certificate as an excuse to pay out all the staff, or the club members, or the ones that he delegates to go out and force all the slaves in the town, the lower slaves, to keep them sucking on bottles, cow's milk, and pumping out 500 boards every day. It's all centered around the great birth certificate fraud scam, the greatest fucking fraud scam in the whole fucking world, which hardly anyone knows about. Hardly anyone. But there are enough auditors on the planet that have been sharing this information. It keeps getting more popular every year. And this is the thing that all the vote for me presidents and kings throughout the world are really scared of, is this information coming out public. Now the reason why they're really scared is they ain't scared of the information coming out public. They're scared of all the slaves rising up that might want to fucking just hang all their asses from a lamppost for what they've done. and what their fathers have done, and what they keep perpetuating without any full honesty of what's going on. But the reason why they don't tell anyone is because they know that most of the people are going to be fucking irate as fuck. And there'll be fucking civil war. It'll just be all out nuclear fucking assault or whatever the fuck. Then they'd have to kill all the slaves, and then when they wouldn't have any more slaves, they'd be fucked, and they'd have to turn some of their fucking family members into slaves to survive. They don't really want to go that route, so that's why they keep perpetuating the big fraud, the scam, and so, seeing how that's the dilemma that the witch doctor has got himself into, he's locked himself into a box he can't get out. He has to keep it going this way, or his world comes crashing down. His whole fucking world comes crashing down. That goes throughout the whole fucking universe. It'll be lights out for the whole fucking universe. every fucking planet, every galaxy would all go into fucking chaos, just total fucking civil war, the whole fucking universe, and all the stars would eventually burn out. And this could be the theme behind when NASA says that eventually there'll be the last star that burns out and it'll stay dark in the whole fucking universe till all of a sudden they say somewhere out of fucking nowhere one planet reignites and it all starts all over again. The whole fucking process starts all over again. Trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of years to create another fucking universe full of fucking planets. So anyway, so the witch doctor kind of has to say to himself, all right, so I've locked myself in a box I can't get out. I have to keep perpetuating this hell forever. And he's starting to think to himself, maybe the forefathers that started this whole system, maybe my fathers and mothers, forefathers, grandma, great to the millionth power great grandmas that started this, the bully grandpa, the warrior woman, bull dyke, or whatever it was that started the whole fucking thing. Whoever started this whole thing, he says, he's thinking to himself, maybe it wasn't a good idea to shut the children down and to shut all the audits and the new universal revelations down. It might be a good idea to start allowing those revelations to come out. That way there'll be new ideas that I could utilize to get myself out of this fucking prison cell box system that I've locked myself into. and he might have came to that conclusion with some help, because he couldn't turn all the children into fucking slaves with gag orders on them. For some reason, there's a power in the universe that can't be shut up. And these children end up speaking up and auditing the fuck out of everything no matter what. And so now he's faced with this dilemma, thinking to himself, well, these auditors seem to be making a whole lot of fucking sense. And it sure is gaining ground here lately. Well, maybe they got the answers. Maybe they got the universal revelations that need to come forth. Just might be that they got some revelations to share to how to fucking bring all this whole fucking fraud, this whole fucking scam transition it unto consciousness, so that there ain't gonna be no fucking civil unrest and the whole fucking enchilada goes lights fucking out, to be ignited and started again sometime later in the fucking future. and repeat the same old fucking zodiac astrology, yuga fucking golden age, war age, golden age. It's always flip-flopping back and forth from the golden age to the fucking fucked up age. The golden age, everybody's having good times. Atlantis is re-risen and everybody's wonderful till it gets fucked up again. And everybody goes back to fucking killing each other, slaving the fuck out of each other. And then it goes into the golden age where slavery starts to be abolished more and more and more, and then for some reason it flip-flops and goes back again. You know, that's all found in the astrology story right there. All that's not found in the Jesus story. And the modern interpretation to that old ancient book, there's the idea is called God rules forever and everyone's happy and all the prisoners are locked up in hell forever. But according to the ancient astrology story, they say the golden age comes and then the murder age comes and then it cycles again. And this all gets into karma and reincarnation. All these ideas start to come into play. So that's why this brother says, remember, even the astrology story is just another story someone wrote. Now, is it a good idea to continue having the universe go through golden ages and then cycling back into a murderous age? and then another golden age, and then it goes cycling, repeating the same thing over and over. Is that a good idea? Well, that could be something to vote on, but who the fucking can keep track of all the voters? So there's no use voting on it, because there's way too many fuckers on the whole fucking planet to have a fair fucking vote. Unless somehow there's technology brought out, which there is. There is technology to be able to see all 9 billion people all at once and be conscious with each other, transparently, all at fucking once. And this gets into a whole new different fucking story besides the modern interpretation to an old ancient book called the Bible, known as the personal Jesus story, and then the one before that known as the ancient astrology Jesus story, which does not share any idea that there's extra technology out there to be considered, other evidence to be considered for a whole nother story outside of that book that someone else wrote called the Bible, which is known as just a bibliography, which means go read all the other books that were written to decipher the codes that original book was written in. So that's the revelation, new universal revelation that this child has brought forth. That this child has not heard no other fucker on the internet, no fucking nowhere, out in town, in the newspapers, no fucking where. Ain't no fucking single fucker sharing this information to want to go beyond some fucking book that someone else probably wrote. Ain't fucking, not saying that there isn't someone else sharing the information or an idea close to it. I'm saying this brother has not heard fucking shit from no one. Not a fucking peep iota. From all the people that he's listened to and heard, and videos that he's watched, and people that he's talked to, and all that shit. Not heard a fucking thing. Not even get close to it. Not even get fucking close to it. Now that brings up the idea, who the fuck is this fucker, this child, this universal fucking child in the fucking backyard of fucking Springfield, Oregon, that's bringing fucking evidence way the fuck out there. No one's even fucking come fucking close to even want to dare mention. Who the fuck is this? If there's a question of all fucking questions out there, it seems how people like to ask questions. Who the fuck is this fucker? Just who the fuck is this fucker? As this fucker looks into this fucking mirror reflection, wherever the fuck this mirror reflection is, reflecting wherever the fuck this body is, what the fuck is really behind it all? What is it really? Is it something that can fucking be anything it wants, and it's striving to get there? Is it something that can live any story it wants, anytime it wants, and is still striving to get there and bring that consciousness into existence, so that it's spread far and wide, just like anyone else's storybook they wrote and shared? Huh? Could it be? Well, obviously the answer is it could be this, it could be that, it could be all kinds of fucking things. And so that gets to the next step. Well, the Sicily brothers sure would like to fucking know. And so now there's a goal that's been set to know what the fuck is, to strive to hit the fucking goal. So to know what the fuck else is out there. Or what the fuck this is. And to start living it. And to start living it. And to start fucking expressing it and talking it. The new fucking universal fucking talk. Something that ain't ever been fucking talked about for the fucking first time comes into existence in the universe for the first fucking time. Imagine that. Could be. What if? Imagine that. A new sheriff, a new sheriff in the area. A new sheriff has existed, sharing some evidence. A new sheriff has just shared new evidence Not a single fucker all around, unless someone in fucking Deep Space fucking Nine knows some of this information. And they're fucking hardwiring it into the fucking brain. And they're actually speaking through this fucker in the backyard. As well as the fucker is also speaking too. The soul is also speaking. It could be. That's more evidence to consider. There could be someone hiding in fucking Deep Space fucking Nine, all the way in the corner of the fucking universe, where no one would even think it fucking dare even venturing to look. And he's sitting in a fucking office with all the technology that he knows, highly sophisticated technology. He's able to speak through this fucking voice in fucking Springfield, or she, whatever the fuck it is, or if it's a he, she, or if it's a whole new fucking breed of whatever the fuck. Maybe it's got 25 dicks and 500 pussies. Maybe it doesn't have any dicks or pussies at all. Maybe if it felt like having one day and another day that changes itself and morphs into something else, that's all possible. And looking at the evidence that way, it sure does lift a heavy ass burden for this fucker to have to carry all that shit all his own on his fucking own. Although it doesn't feel very heavy at all to have to carry it. At first it was, but the more the brother started seeing it clearly, the more it shares, it gets lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. Have to fucking carry this fucking story. He carries it like it's a fucking feather, like it's a fucking breeze. Although there are some heavy moments sometimes. Sometimes, and it gets real heavy, especially when it starts touching the one subject no one ever really wants to get down to the fucking bottom of, and that's fucking pedophilia, which includes fucking prison Bubba and all the rest of the children. Sometimes it goes through moments, because of all the bad habits and all the other shit, depending on what food is eaten during the day, how much exercise, how much work and labor one's done. Then all of a sudden, spontaneously, a radio show wants to radioactively just fucking spontaneously pop up out of nowhere. Sometimes it can get damn right fucking heavy and fucking painful. Talking back pains, headaches, the whole fucking 9 yards, but the show must fucking go on, and it wants to go on. It isn't that it has to go on, it wants to go on, irregardless of all the fucking pain to have to fucking bear, and still have a smile on the face. With all the pain, still a fucking smile on the face. The hips be fucking sore as fuck. Feet fucking calloused up from walking all through the fucking backyard. The voice fucking all torn the fuck up. The whole fucking 9 yards. And of course, what is that's the girl energy right there. But even at that, that's just evidence to consider that it's the girl energy. It might not be the fucking girl energy at all. All the information this brother shares from the backyard are being robot controlled, or half and half that's shared this backyard, doesn't mean that it is. And it seems quite wise not to get stuck in any fucking story. But just to share the evidence and how much evidence there is in each column to consider with all subjects. That seems more like fucking wisdom, real wisdom. And the reason behind that is because when a story gets stuck on, then one has the propensity to think that that's all there is. Then one has the propensity to go around and beat the fuck out of everyone and say, you better fucking believe it or I'm going to fucking light your fucking ass out. And here comes another fucking Jesus God with fucking the heaven and hell story. Yeah, I'm going to punish your fucking ass. If you don't believe and do what I tell you to fucking do, you asswipe. All in the name of godly love. And remember, Jesus always loves you and hopes you repent and come back to the club. Come on. Here's my dick right here. Just make sure you suck it just the way I like. I'm going to set your ass on fire. It's not very wise to get stuck in any fucking story. That's the whole conclusion. That's one big conclusion to analyzing and assessing the whole fucking this whole fucking existence with all its stories. It ain't fucking wise to get stuck on nothing because of that propensity. Propensity to pound and shove it up someone's ass and down their throat. And if they don't believe it and accept it and live it, well, here comes the hurt, sucker. Well, what's that sound like? Does that sound like the fucking same thing that's going on today? Well, of course it does. But it might not be going on. This might all be just some fucking hologram. And it just appears that this is what's going on. And it could be something else behind it at a higher level. Or a deeper level, or a shallower level, or whatever the fuck one wants to call it. It totally just transcends all wisdom. It spits all over all wisdom. Anything that's considered wisdom, it'll spit on it at any time. It goes kind of along the idea when one feels cornered with something, right? There has to be a way out of the corner. There always has to be a way out of the corner. And anything can probably be cornered. Anything can probably be cornered. But to have that, so-called ace in the pocket, or an ace, to have an ace, yeah, to always have a solution. Always have a solution to get out of the corner when one is cornered. When someone comes along and corners, or if even just self-corners, self-destroy someone. There always has to be a way out. It seems like the universal way. Even if someone destroys themselves, sabotages oneself, which is just another way of saying put oneself in a corner, can't get out. Or locked oneself in a prison fucking box, can't get out. It's all the same thing. Being cornered, locked in a box. Well, the county coroner is known as the cemetery guy. He's the one that inspects the dead people. And in some counties, the county coroner is also the sheriff. Yeah, the sheriff holds the office of coroner and the sheriff. Usually in smaller counties, smaller towns and shit like that. Smaller counties, man. Yeah. To be cornered, to lock oneself in a box. Who else does the sheriff look over? What else does the sheriff look over? Not only does he look out, does he look over the fucking lock box for death, known as the casket or the coffin. He also looks oversees in the fucking prison cell box. Right? He's nothing but a fucking in charge of a fucking box, a lock box, when it gets right down to it. The sheriff, looking at the sheriff, looking at it legally speaking. And one can look at it fucking with legal jism too, across the whole fucking universe. Legal jism. And even a lawful sheriff can get locked into shit. Yeah, even a lawful sheriff can get locked into shit. Imagine that. And the brother just gave a wonderful example. Already gave it. It's right here on the video. Anyway, this is 1 hour and 8 minutes, 28 seconds. Part 2 is ended. Brother's feeling hungry. Back's feeling sore. All this wonderful fucking presentation. Evidence to consider. Later. Push the button. Remember, seems how all the accounts are mainly computer. They're all the books are kept on computer records today anyway. So just remember, Judge, just press the settlement button. As trustee to the the SQ Vi Trust. There you go. The executor and beneficiary is here. Giving you permission. or in agreement with you. That's how it works. There's 3 positions to every trust. Just go study trusts. There's always 3 positions to a trust. There's the executor, the beneficiary, and the trustee. 3 legs to a trust. Go study trust. There's trust law and there's trust legal. And then there's trust legalism. One would have to study trusts. Remember, there's universal trust too. Just like there's universal bankruptcy. Anyway, so instead of saying pull the finger, we'll start adding this to the equation. Pull the finger and press the settlement button. The trust settlement button. Trustee. And the trustee doesn't just have to be a judge. Anyone can be a trustee. Trustees can be appointed. But with the doctor and the banker and the system that they set up with that birth certificate, because they're the ones that created it. You know, the creator, as though there's a creator that created everything. And remember, the creator is always known. He's going to rule everything forever, and everyone's going to worship him, and he's going to throw everyone in fucking prison who don't fucking do what they're told to, who didn't do what they were told to do, also known as hell. So remember, they're the one that created it, and in their book, it's just their story. But it's not really their story. It's just a universal story that's always been in the universe. They just decided to partake in that story and have it be the dominant story. So they're the ones that came up with so they're utilizing that birth certificate story. They're just using it, but they like to call themselves the creator. And they always have a God that they report to. And say he's the one that created all the stuff we're creating. So that's their favorite word, is creator. You know, it's just like YouTube. When this brother started publishing articles on YouTube channels and publishing on other people's YouTube channels, that's when Susan watched Kiki and the club members, they came up with a new label on YouTube. And only this brother knows, and only Susan and the club knows, and all those that are surveil at high CIA levels. They came out with this new button on YouTube called, or new title called Creator. And the Creator button only came out around 3 years ago. That's when brother got the Natron Wood Products job. And then he'd come home after working all day, he'd fucking publish articles and throw them all over fucking YouTube. So the brother was actually working 2 fucking jobs. He'd spend fucking 13 hours a day on Natron, from getting up over here to getting to Natron, then coming home. It was around 13 hours. Then he'd come home, publish fucking articles. Yeah, 2 fucking jobs. So it's like working 16 fucking hours a day, every fucking day, and then on the weekends too. So anyway. So it was around, and the brother remembers this quite blatantly, because they got tired. They got tired of fucking Russell exposing what the fuck's going on, especially when it came to the creator, the word creator. I fucking published the shit all over fucking YouTube. Next thing you know, they came out with the new position called the YouTube creator. Because they wanted to rub it in my face. They were looking to rub it in my face, saying, you think you're gonna expose what's going on here, Russell? You think you're gonna do it? You think you're gonna do it? And the brother wasn't. It wasn't coming to that. The brother was just sharing information, just evidence to consider. Russell ain't here to fucking do nothing. He just fucking shares shit as evidence to consider. See, that's the problem with the bully child. He always thinks he's being picked on. That's always the problem with the bully child. He always thinks and so he reacts according to that standard. Yeah. He says, you think you're going to snuff me out in my story and da-da-da-da, I'll show you. I'm going to get ahead of the narrative here. I'm going to teach the whole world how to be a YouTube creator, so that everybody thinks that the word creator and what it's attached to, which is the dominant religion, Jesus interpretation to an old ancient book called the Bible. I'm going to teach everyone how to love that word creator. And it'll be on all the world, all 9 billion people on the planet will be on their lips as something to celebrate. Yoo-hoo! I work from home as a YouTube creator and I'm rich. Yoo-hoo! Yoo-hoo! All because they want everybody to repeat that word, I'm a creator. In other words, what they're saying subconsciously is they're participating in the dominant religious Jesus God interpretation to that old ancient book called the Bible. They're saying, without even knowing it, they're saying, I'm God, and I support God, and I report to God, and I'm a little God. Which in a way, they are God. But it all comes back to who they're fucking put themselves under jurisdiction. Well, that's some God story. And the Jesus story and all, the modern interpretation of that old ancient book called the Bible, which came out with Emperor Constantine and the state board members at the Council of Nicaea. Used to be known as the astrology Jesus interpretation. And there was no fucking mention of any fucking creator. There's no mention of any fucking creator in the astrology interpretation. There ain't no personalized creator. But anyway, not to put their story down, not to put their creator story down, but just to share evidence so one can start to see, there's more to the Bible than what we've been taught. Who the hell's withholding the information here like an IRS tax withholding? Taxing everybody with these heavy burdens. Who's withholding the information here? I sure would like to know who's running paying the taxes on the county courthouse. I want to know his name. Who is it? We need to bring him before the whole town because he's the one that's allowing this to happen in the county. This courthouse situation, creator religion, and all that other stuff. We want to get down to the bottom of this. And all that other stuff. And people could actually get down to the bottom of what's going on. Because evidence is there to look at now. And then considering, all kinds of stuff, then it's kind of like, well... And of course, that's the bully's deepest fear. Because it would be the end of his fucking control. And there could be an all-out civil fucking war. And knowing how the bully is, he'll just add to it and give everyone nuclear weapons so they can just destroy it all. Because at heart, the bully controlling it all is sitting in some fucking office in Deep Space fucking Nine, extraterrestrial office, way the fuck over there. What the fuck does he care about this fucking planet? Or let alone all the other planets and other galaxies, as long as he's got a little spot in the corner, because he can always start from scratch again. Doesn't fucking matter to him. Except for the fact when it gets to the point where it would affect his office, and his office blew up and burned out, and his ass blew up and burned out, which could happen. So it's quite a tightrope to have to walk with all this evidence and presenting evidence and all that stuff. It's quite a tightrope to live this way. To live universally, to explore new worlds, like the Star Trek movie came out with Captain Kirk. We're here to explore new worlds, to go where no man has ever gone before. Straight to the toilet. Well, one could consider, that's just a fiction television show. We don't really want to go where no man's gone before. We just say that because it makes the slaves feel good and entertained after their 8 hours of slave work. It makes their back feel better at least for 8 hours to sleep and get up next day and come back to work. Remember, you can always look forward to easing that pain by another Star Trek show that's coming on at 7 tonight. Get your favorite beverages and popcorn. Get the children all gathered around so you can all relieve the daily pain, numb oneself, and get ready for tomorrow for the same shit. Slave job. It's going to be the same thing. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Anyway, so pull the finger and press the button now. Judge, trustee, settle the accounts now. At least start considering to bring that idea somehow, trustee, at least consider transitioning to the idea of settling these accounts now to bring settlement to all these stories, because the word account is stories, to bring some settlement to everyone's story that they love to share. Also known as the thing that Winston Shrout brought international, he brought some international information called a banker's acceptance written on a bill. Accepted for value. We accept your story, child, for value. Did you think I need to pay you and all that other stuff? Now go settle the accounts at the Treasury. That's all the system is centered around. It isn't just the paper money system. It's accepting someone's universal story for value. Instead of telling them, I don't like your story, you better do what my story says, or I'm going to punish you. Anyway. So, trustee, let's see if we can come up with some wonderful transition ideas to start accepting other living organisms' stories that they have to share, which universal bring the universal principles, which also includes settling the money accounts, the Treasury money accounts, all these bills, charges, and taxes, and all the wonderful products that everybody longs to have a fair share with. Coming up with a wonderful plan that we can avoid a civil war, how to share information, and be honest and all that. Something, since how you like to use the word creative, on your side it would be something quite creative that we can implement, bring a goal and a plan. And they're thinking, and he's thinking to himself, well, since how you're the one that brought it up, Russell, we'll let you be the keynote speaker for the whole implementation. Well, isn't the brother already having that happen right here in the backyard? Well, yeah, that might be how it gets there. Little bits at a time. Could be, but needless to state, Mama just likes to encourage you, lovely judge trustee, to be courageous in coming forth with other wonderful ideas, goals, and implementations to settle these accounts here. Yes. Mama's encouragement, that's all. Anyway, so pull the finger and press the button.